We had ridden horses while we were in Jamaica, so our butts were kind of a little bit sore from the horseback riding experience, so it wasn't too comfortable. Hi everyone, it's Rox. Welcome back to Rock City, and today I wanted to share with you my post-Spirit experience. So I recently took my first trip on Spirit Airlines, and I do have a few videos on my channel of my preparation for this flight. And now that I've taken the flight and I've actually had a Spirit experience, I wanted to come back and share with you what it was like so that folks can have an idea of what my plans looks like when they came up with reality. So I basically had, gotten all the information that I needed, and I was pretty much, I think I was pretty prepared for the flight. So I got to the airport. I was flying on a Sunday evening around 6:30 or so, and when I got to the airport it was pretty quiet. I am in the Northeast in a smaller international airport, and really there wasn't much going on. So when I got there, I basically had my little floral bag that was going to be my personal item, and I broke my promise and this thing was stuffed to the gills. In addition, I had a suitcase that I had packed our items in, and that was going to be our checked luggage, because like I had found out, the checked luggage was actually cheaper than going with the carry-on. So basically I got to the counter. You can start checking in around 24 hours prior to your flight, so I had already gone there and checked in, and pretty much I was ready. So I got there, and my bag, I also waited because Spirit has a 40-pound weight limit. I knew I was a little bit over the limit, but I just wanted to see how things would go. So I went there, gave them the bag, and guess what? Nothing. It was like 42 pounds, and they just basically took it, put the tag on it, put it back there, and it was on its way. The big old bag that I had on my shoulder, that was my personal item. No one said anything to me about it, and I was able to basically go all the way through. I used my ticket, which by the way, Spirit's app is crap. I deleted that from my phone, and I basically just checked in and requested that they sent my ticket to me by my email, and so I was able to use my Apple email, that app, instead of the Gmail. Gmail doesn't work because it doesn't bring up that little scan code at all times. So if you are going to check in using your email, make sure you have some other way to access your email besides the Gmail app, because for some reason that doesn't seem to work. So I was able to use that to get through TSA, and also use that to get onto the plane. And once I got onto the plane, I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, the seats, they weren't big plush seats besides the ones at the front, but then the ones that were throughout the airplane, they didn't recline like I already knew, but they were comfortably enough. I mean, it wasn't like sitting on bleachers or anything like that. It really wasn't like a cattle car, like I said the last time. And the leg room I found was pretty sufficient for me, and I'm pretty tall. I'm 5'9". I was actually relieved that no one could recline on me the entire journey. I had bought my drink prior to getting onto the plane. I had my snack, so I was fully prepared. Before the flight got underway, I realized that my bag would be too big to fit under the seat. So basically I just took the bag and put it up in the overhead bin, and no one said anything to me. I didn't have to pay or anything like that. So I was like, oh, this is going really well. So the flight was very, very pleasant. The flight attendants were pleasant. The pilot was pleasant. It was just a wonderful experience. I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? This is going much better than I thought. And on top of that, the flight was early. Like, it left the gate prior, like a few minutes prior to when it should have. And the flight was shorter than it should have been. And we got there quite fine. Once we got to baggage claim, or bags were there in no time, and this was in Fort Lauderdale. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? How am I having such a good experience? Maybe it's because I'm coming out of my small airport. So I was like, you know what? Let me wait until I'm going back, and then I'll see what this experience is like to really have my final judgment on what Spirit Airlines is about. We, packed our items once again, came back to the airport. Now, we're coming back into Fort Lauderdale at a time when Fort Lauderdale airport is just crazy. I think this was Sunday morning, because we ended up going to Miami after the cruise, and we spent some time in South Beach, and then on Sunday was when we decided to come back. Now, Sundays in Fort Lauderdale airport is crazy. You can barely get to your terminal on time, and really we were running a little bit late because we were having some problems with our Uber out of South Beach. And so we got into the airport, and I was just like worried that I had packed my suitcase in a way where it would be too heavy, and I didn't have a way to weigh my suitcase while I was at the airport. But basically, once again, got to the counter, just told them I'm here to check my bag that I had prepaid for, and they grabbed the bag. I don't even know how much it weighed this time, but basically they just took the bag, put it on there, and the bag was gone. I was able to once again walk by with my floral bag that was overstuffed. It was so stuffed that literally the strap started falling off, started falling apart. I really brought too many things. Actually, that's something I need to learn. Travel even lighter. I mean, my goodness, I kind of overdid it on this flight. But basically, got on the flight once again. Nice new aircraft, and in terms of the experience, it didn't feel like any worse than any other budget carrier. As a matter of fact, it probably felt a little bit better because you didn't have like the flight attendant going back and forth with food, waking you up and all kinds of things. It was just, I don't know, it was a really pleasant experience. As far as the seating on the way back, you know, same seats, but we were towards the back of the plane, so it was kind of a little bit of a rough ride. And not only that, we had ridden horses while we were in Jamaica, so our butts were kind of a little bit sore from the horseback riding experience, so it wasn't too comfortable, but that was our fault. But besides that, you know, the pilot was really skilled, and the winds were so strong when we were landing that you could literally feel it like buffeting the plane, and he landed it with such skill. Like when he did, everybody just like clapped. It was amazing. It was a really good experience. So I am here to say that I had a pretty good experience on Spirit Airlines, and I would fly them again. I cannot believe I'm here saying that, but really that was my experience. It was pleasant. I did not have any kind of negative experience. Both of the flights were early and they arrived ahead of schedule. I didn't have any problems with any sort of baggage items or anything like that. So I would definitely fly Spirit again. Now I know there's a lot of people who have had negative experiences, but I can only speak of mine. And of course it's only one round trip flight. But I just want to say that that experience has certainly not deterred me from ever flying Spirit again. And if they were to come up at the bottom of my search for, you know, the cheapest price, I certainly would click and buy. Once again, I think the preparation is what made all the difference in the world. I knew what I was getting into, and I was very prepared for the situation. So I want to say to folks, if you're thinking about taking your first Spirit flight, go ahead and check out the video that I have done that helps folks to prepare for their first Spirit flight and gives them all the information that they'll need so that they won't be caught off guard. And also, one thing I want to say, Spirit does a pretty good job of letting you know what's going on. They emailed me throughout the entire process. They informed me about their rules. They emailed me about their flight status. They emailed me to check in. They were really in touch throughout the entire process. So I felt it was a pretty good customer service experience for me. And so really, if you come to the airport and you don't know what's going on with Spirit, it's through no fault of the airline, because really I think they do a pretty good job of informing their customers of what the deal is. So once again, thank you for checking out my video, and I hope that if you do fly Spirit at some point in the future that you have a pleasant experience as well. Have a good day. Oh, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Bye!